Supreme Court, the Apex Court held that the power of the government is portioned into three arms of government: the federal, the state, and the local government. The court further declared that a state government has no power to appoint a caretaker committee and a local government council. It's only recognizable with a democratically elected government. The court says a democratically elected local government is sacrosanct and non-negotiable. The judgment held that the use of a caretaker committee amounts to the state government taking control of the local government and is in violation of the 1999 Constitution. The court ruled that the state governments are perpetuating a dangerous trend by refusing to allow democratically elected local government councils to function, instead appointing their loyalists who can only be removed by them. The court stated that it is the local governments that should receive and manage funds meant for local government. Justice Agim declared, "I hold that the state's retention of the local government funds is unconstitutional. Demands of justice requires a progressive interpretation of the law. It is the position of this court that the Federation can pay local government allocations to the local governments directly or pay them through the states. In this case, since paying them through the states has not worked, justice of this case demands that local government allocations from the Federation account should henceforth be paid directly to the local governments." The judgment held that the local government council funds must be paid to only democratically elected local government councils, stating that anything other than this will be taken as a gross misconduct. A declaration that the state government has no power or control to keep the local government council money or funds. Another of injunction restraining the defendants by themselves, agents or privates, from spending local government allocation. A declaration that no state government should be paid any money meant for the local government. An immediate compliance to this judgment, the Apex Court declared. Justice Agim said, I hold that the plaintiff's request is hereby approved and all the reliefs granted. Justice Agim dismissed the objections filed by the state governor. Gochukwu, what is your reaction to this?
Choma, for me, this is an opinionated judgment. If you read what Justice Agim have said, the Supreme Court is making their opinion. This is not a judgment. Why? Because if they want to make it a judgment, I'm on national television, because you won't be making you're reading out the judgment and you're making a plea. You're using can. You're using that, hence the funds that has been jointly held by the local government and state are not utilized. Is in my opinion. That is the opinion of this court, that the federal government should be paying directly to the position. Is the position,
not the opinion. The position.
No, your position is a position and is an opinion held by. Don't use English and deceive me. When the position is held by.
When the justice said it is my opinion. Now he's speaking as a person, but when he says it's the position of the court, it is the ruling of the court.
The ruling of the court is the 7-member or the 3-member panel that sat, that had the case. So this is their position, meaning this is their opinion. I have a learned gentleman here. So now, once I am through with my analysis, he can continue. Okay. Now I'm making, maybe he can now pick me out from where I head. So now they have given their judgment. This judgment for me seems to be sentimental and disfavorable to a party, when he has already also said that they have all the requests or the prayers of the plaintiff has been granted, and the objections of the governors were. The governors will still find a way out.
He dismissed the
objections of the governors. But if you look at it critically, you find out that this judgment runs in contravention of the Constitution, which has made it clearly that the state and the local government will have their allocations joined together. And it is the state government that will now disburse to the local government, which I don't find any fault. The only thing is that who is supervising who? If at the end of the day this judgment flies, it will be to my happiness, because the state government can now do the work of an oversight to see what the local governments are doing with the funds that are allocated to them. But as it stands now, hence this marriage of convenience between the local governments and the state government, who supervises who reports who. So, and when you come for the head of the local government chairman, you have to go and get the head of the governor first. So in this case, if the president or the AGF went to court, they would have used this muzzle that they have expended in the Supreme Court to go and rejig the 1999 Constitution, the section chapter 5, 152, that talked about the sharing of the federal allocation. They should have gone to rejig it, because despite the fact that the Supreme Court is a court of law, but in this case that there is already a clearly fundamental and statement made by the Constitution on how this revenue should be shared, and they are running contrary to it. I don't think it is Uhuru yet.
All right.
It is not Uhuru, because they themselves know that in their judgment they have already jettisoned the 1999 Constitution as amended, as a proviso therein that this local government and state allocation will be shared in a common purse,
right,
while the state government oversees it.
Okay.
So to jump into a conclusion and think that Nigerians will come and clap for them, I take exception to it until the needful is done.
Right.
For me, this judgment, they just play to the gallery.
Okay.
They don't, because remember what happened when President Tinubu was the governor of Lagos State. When the funds were withheld, it was later paid. But now, those other developmental areas that he was now using the funds of the other local governments to share among them, who questioned him?
All right.
So these are some of the things that is also going on within other states. They have adjoining subjective local governments here and there that they share the money with. So who questions them about it?
Right.
So until the Constitution is rejigged, that is when this particular section and this particular judgment will hold water.
All right, Zimani.
Yes.
What's your take?
I've not read the judgment. Mm-hmm. I've not read the judgment, and by my principles, I don't speak to what I have not seen. But going by what we have been reading online,
Yes.
going by what we have been reading online, you see, the issue of local government autonomy has been in the front burner for over 2 decades now. And the Supreme Court has also ruled on several occasions,
Of course,
that use of caretakers are illegal. But they rule, and this thing is not being enforced. Governors don't take it serious. And also, if what we have read on social media and on the various news platforms plus traditional media houses like yours, what we have read and seen is what is stipulated or what is provided in the judgment, then for me I think it's a progressive judgment. And the Supreme Court is not just a court of law; it's also a court of policy. And the Supreme Court has the powers, the inherent powers, to strike off any part of the Constitution that is contrary to the rule of law.
Interesting.
And that is what they have just done. By virtue of that judgment, they've struck off the Section 7 of the Constitution and Section 162 of the Constitution, 1999, as amended, because those sections grants joint accounts, and Section 162 grant joint account between the state and the local government. Section 7 gives the state government powers to make laws with respect to finance and whatnot of the local government. So all of these has been expunged by virtue of that judgment, if what we have read is to go by. Because what it then means is that the Supreme Court is saying that if you are not democratically elected, as granted in the 1999 Constitution, then the money will not come. If you are democratically elected, the money will come direct to you. It is no longer going to go to the state. And so therefore, it has given this local government autonomy to decide what they want to use their money for. I can tell you for a fact that in Rivers State, there are some percentages of money deducted from the local government every month for traditional rulers, for primary health board, that is going to the state. And for primary school, that goes to the state. That is local government money that goes to the state uses for. And then there are the ones who cannot speak of, that we don't know about, that we are always hearing about. And also, this judgment is a progressive judgment. But however, even as progressive as judgment might sound, implementation is not an issue for me.
All right.
What is an issue is that this judgment is curing old problems and bringing new problems.
All right. What problems? Can you tell us one or two problems that you anticipate?
The new problem this judgment is going to bring, one is that, one, it is making the federal government more powerful. While we are clamoring that the federal government the powers of the federal government should be reduced, it has given the federal government more power to directly send money to local government without the state. It has reduced the powers of the state. Two, the constitution also grants the assembly powers to make laws for the good governance of the local government. Now, in some states, I will take the state of Rivers State for example. In Rivers, the assemblies have made laws. Now we have a Rivers State Local Government Service Commission. We have a Rivers State Post-Primary Schools Board that is being sponsored by the local government funds. When they meet at JAC. Now there's no longer JAC. So who will now fund those people? Because if I am the local government chairman now, example in Abuduan, I'm a local government chairman in Abuduan, and you tell me, and I receive the money directly for the federal government, you have me to contribute, and I say I'm not contributing, you cannot do anything. To hell with you. Now that is the problem. And now, so the Local Government Service Commission is created in a way that local government can only employ from level 1 to level 4. That is what the local government can employ. From level 4 and 5 and above can only be employed by the state and transferred to local government, and local government will pay. So now that I am autonomous, can the state now also employ and give me to pay? So these are the new vistas of issues we are going to have.
So what's going on right now is that local government chairmen will now be authority on their own.
On their own.
So they can match the governor's
exactly.
power for power.
Power for power.
Interesting. So how do you see this playing out? Let's use Rivers State for an example. Very quickly, because we are almost out of time.
In the case of Rivers State.
In few seconds.
In case of Rivers State.
Yes.
Ordinarily, the ones appointed by the governor and they are known in existence by virtue of this judgment. By virtue of other judgments, they have never been known in existence.
All right.
And currently, the play is that we don't know which one will be recognized. We don't know if the extended will be recognized or it will not be recognized.
Okay.
Now, we don't know if it is RISEC that will conduct the election
or INEC.
Because the question will ask, because the constitution gives RISEC to the powers of, but the question will not ask, which money will the state governors use to conduct the election for local government?
Will there be a contributory fund?
Will there be a contributory fund?
Since right now, they don't have a say with the government. It's a conundrum.
Exactly, it's a conundrum. Some states will tell you that we don't have money to conduct the election. But by next week, we will see it playing out and all that. Right. So God will give us life to.
All right,
from what he said, that means now the governors will not handpick the people that becomes local government chairman, and the federal, we have an input. The federal ministers, we have an interest in who becomes it makes the political system in Nigeria and space more interesting. Interesting days ahead.
Interesting days ahead indeed. And this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Open Conversation. Thank you.